Coming up on This Week in Radio Tech, we're live at the Texas Association of Broadcasters, this year in Round Rock, Texas. And this is an amazing facility. A lot of people are here. In fact, at the end of the show, we're going to hear from this guy, Fred Morton. He's going to tell us about owning a radio station before you're 30, and he still has the same one. I can't believe it. It's all coming up next on TWiRT.
This Week in Radio Tech is brought to you by Broadcasters General Store with outstanding service, savings, and support. Online at bgs.cc. By Broadcast Bionics with the Bionics Studio, including talk show control, social media, and visual radio. Broadcast Bionics brings exceptional audience engagement to radio and TV. By Air, featuring Playout One radio automation software, comprehensive streaming solutions, website content management, and social media tools for maximum listener engagement on the web at AIIR.com. By Angry Audio. Audio problems disappear when you get angry at angryaudio.com. And by Max Connect Wireless, prioritized high-speed internet service designed for transmitter sites and remote broadcasts.
Hey, welcome into This Week in Radio Tech, the show where we talk about everything from the microphone to the light bulb that I'm sure is out there at the top of the tower somewhere. I'm Kirk Harnack. Delighted that you're here. We are at what's the name of this place?
Texas Association of Broadcasters Convention.
By the way, this is Bob Street.
Round Rock, Texas.
In Round Rock, Texas.
I
never knew where Round Rock was till I looked it up. It's outside of Austin.
Yes, it's in the greater Austin metro.
In fact,
it's just grown exponentially over the past 20 years.
In fact, not to use an old phrase, but it's really close to the Austin city limits.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
Do you sing?
More like a weed.
Do you sing or play guitar?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I unfortunately I didn't do that.
I thought we could maybe
I played radio when I was young.
We could recreate Austin city limits right here for everybody. But no, okay.
No.
So we're going to be broadcasting live today, and we're doing our live show on Wednesday instead of Thursday because the convention is today. Setup is here. I'm speaking tomorrow and then flying home. And Suncast has a prior commitment. Suncast is our producer back at the controls. So my first guest is a guy that, oh my gosh, I have known you since, had to be the late 80s, right?
Or early 80s, I think.
No, I didn't move to Memphis until 87.
Okay. Well,
So
later 80s.
88, 89,
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was pretty maybe happenstance because from 82 to 90, I was in Pensacola, Florida.
Okay.
I worked in that
Well,
market.
I figured that you had moved away because you and I talked about working together, and by golly, I couldn't afford you.
Well,
That was the problem because, I mean, you had places that would, were
Yeah.
closer to paying you what you're worth.
well, thank you. Whatever. But, we had some mutual things going on too. I think you were at one time or still are a partner in WROX down in Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
And-
Technically, no, not anymore, but I have been, yeah.
right. And I had a good friend, an early radio friend and ham radio buddy who worked at WROX. And
Okay.
actually got to run a St. Louis Cardinals baseball game.
Oh, yeah.
With the old RCA console and all.
Well, and now you're from Mississippi. Tell me about the town you're from.
I'm from Senatobia, a town you've never heard of, but you've heard of it, called Senatobia, Mississippi. It's about 35 or 40 miles south of Memphis, right on Interstate 55.
Yeah.
And I got my start as a volunteer at I believe it's the first NPR affiliate in the state of Mississippi there at Northwest Mississippi Junior College,
yeah.
WNJC, no longer exists.
Okay.
And then I worked for a little while. I was 15, and now I'm 67, so that was a while ago. And then I worked at the town at that time had a daytime AM radio station, WSAO, which I think you did some engineering.
Yes, I did.
Past years.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, which is no more.
Oh,
Yeah, but I worked 6 days a week on the air beginning in 1974 until I got my first class radio telephone license, which you used to have then. And went to work for Channel 6, WABG TV.
Wait, you worked at Channel 6?
Oh, yeah.
Engineer.
Yeah.
Because I worked there as a weatherman.
Right. I've seen some video of you down there. Now, were the studios still in Greenwood, or were they over in Greenville?
They were in Greenville when I did weather for Channel 6.
Well, I was there before the big fire.
Oh.
And so this was the mid.
So it wasn't your
76 to 78.
The fire wasn't your fault.
No.
Okay.
No. In fact, I prevented a fire there one night.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, you asked for a radio.
Well, and
or a
but I want to hit the last thing. You really hit a big time market because for how many years were you the director of engineering in the Houston market?
Houston, I came there to work for Gannett, the newspaper company. That's Tegna. In fact, I get a little bit of a pension from Tegna.
Wow.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tegna. But Gannett had radio and TV then, and they had KKBQ in Houston.
Okay.
I moved there in 1990, and eventually through all the
Shuffling.
ins and outs, shuffling. Yes, good word. I ended up as the director of engineering first for Chancellor Media, and then which became AM/FM, and then that was bought by Clear Channel, and Clear Channel became iHeartMedia. So
I visited you when it was Clear Channel, and then became iHeart. And I think you may have bought a phone system from us.
yeah, we did for our old studio location, which we moved out of a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So I retired in March 31st of this year from full-time work.
Okay.
I still do occasional part-time work, and it's one reason I happen to show up here right now today. I had to go over to Beaumont and take care of a little problem yesterday at KLVI. But
from what I've been able to tell, this Bob Stroop, if you're just joining us, from originally Senatobia, Mississippi, spent years in the Houston market, and Bob was lucky that he and I didn't get together on a job because he's done so well. And I would have hated to have held you back, Bob.
oh no, no. I remember those days and really value those days because also during the late 70s and early 80s, I was at Mississippi State University and did some radio there, and also over a little bit into Alabama for a station WHKW, not very far from Tuscaloosa over there. And so I remember how small market radio works and, the need to kind of, MacGyver things, I guess.
What a small world, because I got my meteorology certificate from Mississippi State. But you've got a short story to tell us about engineering. There was something on your mind that we could all learn from.
You ask
in the
about,
trenches.
you ask about, some of the war stories and because it's that time of year, that magical time of year for everybody who lives on the Gulf Coast called hurricane season.
Yeah.
And so we had Hurricane Ike to come through Houston in 2008. And so our studios were in a high rise in the what's referred to as the Galleria area.
Okay.
It's right near the I-610 loop, the inner loop in Houston, in a 22-story high rise. And it had 3-meter satellite dishes on the roof for us to receive things. So
Do you see where this is going? Okay.
I'm going. So I'm there, in the trenches during the hurricane, and suddenly all the satellite receivers go dead, and I'm going. That's probably miles away by now. But when we got up and looked at the roof of the building, the satellite dishes were there. But it looked like they were fiberglass dishes, and the vibration from the wind, 100+ mile an hour winds, looked in it. The center hub, it looked like somebody took a saw and just sawed it right in the middle of it, and the satellite dish came off.
Oh, wow.
So we put new fiberglass panels on it, and it worked again.
They became fiberglass donuts.
Yeah, pretty much. It was an interesting time. The wind, the transmitter site where a couple of our transmitters are, we found out we had to do some modifications there because the wind blew so hard that the exhaust louvers or the generators were shut, and both the generators overheated. Took 9 radio stations off the air.
And I don't know how you prepare for any of that.
Only going through it. Going through it.
Bob, it's been great talking to you.
Nice talking to you,
Thank
Kurt.
you for your
nice
time.
to see you,
Good
sir.
to see you. Yeah.
Looking well.
Maybe you're gonna go to any engineering session.
Yeah, probably a couple.
Well, Clay Walker and I are going to do a session tomorrow. I think about 1:00.
All right. I'll put it on my
magical cloud stuff.
The magical device. I'll put it on my magic. This thing knows everything. Everything in the world. It does. Right in here.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you.
Sir.
Okay. That's Bob Stroop. And he's retired now. As so many, engineers, do they really retire or do they just go to post-sunset power? I read that today. Hey, our show is going to continue here in just a second. Clay Walker's going to make a quick appearance and give you a little preview of what's happening tomorrow with a certain presentation that we're doing. Right now, though, I want to tell you about our sponsor, AIR, AIIR.com, and their new product called Scheduler. It's powerful scheduling simplified. Not only do I know that because it says it on the screen, but I've tried it. I've played with it. It is amazing. It's music scheduling doesn't have to be complicated. Their easy-to-use scheduler helps you create logs for your radio station directly in your web browser. There's no software to install. Now, what about getting your music into it? Well, it has an import routine to import your existing music database with all the information that you have now. Or if you want to start from scratch, that's actually not that big a deal. You can start from scratch and input and put your music in just the way you want, especially if you're doing some niche format. Maybe you're doing something on an HD2 or an HD3. You can schedule really quickly with drag and drop. And you can see that on the screen right now, dragging and dropping program elements, songs of different types and different places. Of course, you can assign all the usual artist separation, tempo separation, male, female separation, oldie, current, recurrent, all that kind of stuff. It handles all that just the way you'd think that it should, because it does. And also it creates music logs of course, for Playout One, since it's from their parent company, air.com. And it also creates music logs for Wide Orbit and a number of other automation systems. If yours isn't on the list, talk to them. And, I'll tell you what, I've been a customer of AIR for a long time. These guys are good at getting routines out the door to make your desired problem, your problem go away and make your system work the way you think it should. There's a list also right there on the screen. Myriad, Play It Live, Station Playlist, as I mentioned already, Playout One and Wide Orbit. Now here's something really cool about air.com's scheduler, and that is that right now it's free. You can try it out. And this is just the beginning of August. So you can try it out from now through September. So almost 2 full months. You can try Scheduler for free. Check it out from air.com/scheduler. That's AIIR, air.com/scheduler. Thanks so much to air.com. And we got a couple of Air support guys who are going to be with us in just a little while. This Week in Radio Tech, live from Austin, Texas, from Round Rock, Texas, and the Kalahari Resort, where the Texas Association of Broadcasters is having their convention. It's just getting underway, kicking off tonight, although there's a few engineering sessions going on this afternoon with Wayne Pacina. And I think Clay Walker's going to come visit us right now and give us a little preview of what we're doing tomorrow. Clay, hi, man.
Hey, Kirk, how are you? What's funny is all your viewers are probably really mad because they're like, oh, there's going to be a country singer because we're in Texas. Giant hat.
Yeah.
You're seeing like Dream of Mine.
Hey, that don't look like Clay Walker.
It ain't. In fact, in my past history of being a country music programmer, he and I would have text messages from other people that were intended to other people.
Yes.
Because record people would have both names in. So sorry to say, I'm the, nerd from corporate, Clay Walker, not the country music singer.
When I went to tag you in my post of our joint presentation tomorrow, I said, I want to tag Clay Walker. And I didn't remember if we were friends on Facebook yet or not.
Yeah.
And so I went to look and I said, there's 17 Clay Walkers here.
There you go. And only one.
And most of them have cowboy hats.
There you go. No cowboy hat today. I tried to come to the show with better hair than yours. It didn't work out. That's all that is.
Well, my hairstylist is sitting right over there. Her name is Carmen.
She did a marvelous job today. That's all it is. Yeah. Extra hold in the humidity and all that. But look, how exciting to talk about virtualization at TAB.
Right. That's tomorrow's presentation that we're doing together.
Yeah, pretty exciting because we're talking about how do you take a traditional broadcast facility that is all console centric and buttons and knobs and physical faders that we touch.
Right.
And how do we put them up maybe virtually on a virtual console like your employer, the TELUS Alliance's Altus, or other products to where they're touchscreen driven and maybe operate in the TOC in a market. Or what happens when you take the entire air chain and fling it up into the cloud, give it to Amazon and let them handle it. So your automation and your control and all of that is there. What does that open up for you and for your talent and for your engineering teams and all of that? I can't wait, Kirk. This is great.
What's interesting is that we've been talking about this for actually a few years, and there's a lot of progress for the people who do want to put everything in the cloud. There's progress toward that, and it's basically possible now. There's a few hoops you got to jump through, but it's possible now. But can you imagine Yeah, a lot of other industries have had this conversation. Okay, can you imagine back, this had to be 20 plus years ago when Amazon was getting started. So you want to, what, you want to have the store, but not a store?
That's right.
What?
And you have to go and break some eggs. You have to go, hey, we're going to try something that's a little weird. And how many times, I could tell you today, I ordered stuff, don't tell my kids, but I ordered stuff for the kids for their back to school while in Austin to go deliver to North Carolina. It's second nature to us. So we began talking about virtualization and Studio of the Future and those kind of things at Odyssey back in 2018 and 2019 when we standardized on the Telos Alliance and then the Livewire standard throughout our facilities.
Yeah, sure.
We started building these what if you lifted one piece at a time. Maybe it's the telephone system, maybe it's the audio console and your playout servers and all of these things to assemble it in a way. I think it's really neat. Telos has come a long ways too to build these containers, right? I mean, they're buckets. And you explained it on a previous podcast a long time ago, saying just think of them like Tupperware boxes. And you've got a container of this and this and this and this, and I can arrange them however I need them to do to orchestrate a really great purpose-built content-first radio station. So if I have a talk station, they have this stack. If I have a music FM with a small morning show, they have this stack.
Yeah.
Or in the case of our friends in Detroit, who produce both university and professional level sports, something that's meant for network production. I mean, it's all there, and that's what I'm really looking forward to talking about tomorrow is all the opportunities that you kind of get to unlock and use the best talent across your entire group versus being centric in a physical building.
I would love to have you back later in the hour, and we'll tease a bit more about our thing. But a lot of our viewers, most of our viewers, can't be here, so maybe we can reveal a few more things from our talk tomorrow. Would that be okay?
Great.
I want to get. I have a new colleague that's here. Greg is here. Greg, come on in. You and I haven't gotten to talk a whole lot. How you doing? How many employees does Telos have now? I mean, if they'll hire you,
million or two, they'll hire anyone, right?
So tell me about. It says Director of Sales at Telos Alliance.
Director of Sales.
Does Cam know about this title?
Cam does. I think this was Cam's creation.
Good.
We are part of the Media Solutions team.
Right.
So there's three of us: myself, Kelly Fox, and Jim Thomason.
Yes.
So I handle specifically the Infinity Intercom line and our virtual intercom platform, which is our cloud-based system. I don't know why I always look up there when I say cloud.
Cloud-based?
I know.
I'm gonna start doing that.
And Kelly Fox heads up the software audio processing tools, so the audio tool server.
Yeah.
And Jim Thomason does linear and Junger. And we form this Media Solutions team, targeting broadcast.
So actually what caused me to ask you to come over, Clay was just talking about we're moving different parts and pieces into cloud-based infrastructure.
Yes.
And anything you can run in the cloud, you can also run on premises. But for many people, not for everybody, but for many people, there's benefits to having it in the cloud. And one of the things that I wanted to bring you over to mention is that in the television world, there's already a lot of cloud production going on. The Avid, Grass Valley, and people like this have cloud-based video production, right?
True.
So, and at Telos Alliance, we have a cloud-based, or it can be cloud-based, intercom system, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And just as an example, one of the companies using this, and we've done stories on it so we can talk about it, Chess TV. So if you're a chess fanatic, and I was at not to aside here too much, I was at a truck stop a year ago, and there's a guy at the register, and while he's paying for his hamburger or hot dogs or whatever he's paying for, he had a big fold open phone, and he had like literally 6 chess games going on the phone.
Oh my God!
I said, dude, what are you doing? and so I had just heard about our Chess TV relationship, providing them with intercom. They go around, or maybe you can better tell the story what Chess TV does. But they're a very mobile television production company. They're very mobile. They have to be to go to all these different chess tournaments, and they use cloud-based tools, including cloud-based intercom, to keep master control in touch with the crew at the site.
Correct.
What can you add to what I just said?
Right, they do. They travel around different parts of the country. It's almost like e-games, right?
Yeah.
But it's chess. So they have these tournaments. They're going up to, I believe it's AWS Cloud.
Yep.
And they've got a virtual intercom platform set up. It's all virtualized software containers, and they're able to talk through the cloud to, as you said, master control back and forth, and they scale it up and down. When they're done with the tournament, they turn off the cloud. They're not paying for egress fees.
right.
They move to the next venue. They set up. They turn it back on.
That's a really interesting concept, is that when you're doing cloud-based operations, you're really paying the data transfer fees only when you're using it, and you don't leave it on if you don't need it.
Right.
Okay.
If you're a broadcaster, it's 24/7. It's interesting. I just listened to a presentation by Sinclair. Sinclair.
Yeah.
And they're moving all their stations to the cloud.
Really?
So they're doing master control, play out in the cloud.
Yeah.
Everything, graphics, and they found it incredibly easier in terms of not having to do software updates on hardware at every single station.
Oh yeah.
They just do it all at once, and it's fast and easy. In terms of disaster recovery, it was great because the presenter was talking about a tornado at one of the stations. It might have been here in Texas, and the actual transmitter tower fell down on the station.
Okay.
And it was uninhabitable.
Oh god.
And they were able to go to their sister station, broadcast from there,
Yeah.
out of the
Yeah.
cloud, because everything was up in the cloud.
And so one of the benefits of being in the cloud is that implies that your crews, your people, can access it and control it from anywhere. And some people look at that as a threat. I'm sure business owners look at that as maybe hey, we can hire people in Omaha to run master control cheaper than we can in New York City, for example. That at least, and on air talent, sometimes, hey, we might have somebody voice tracking afternoons in market number 3 or 4, when if they were in market 3 or 4, they would cost more money. Now, you can make arguments either way about, is this good, is this bad? Hey, it's great for the guy in Omaha who now gets to voice track on, or maybe even be live in market number 3 or whatever it may be. Years ago, I did some math, and if you're a small market TV station and you have master control there at the TV station, as many places still do,
right,
you could be looking at $500,000 in salaries and benefits just to run master control.
Right.
365 days a year, including holidays. You got to have backup staff.
Yeah, backup equipment.
I worked at a Sinclair station in Nashville, and they were running 3 stations from one master control.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know the numbers for sure, but it had to be pushing $1 million a year to staff that room for 3 stations.
Could be. Yeah.
So if you can do this in the cloud and have people literally from anywhere, it could be people in Nashville running it, but it could also be somebody in West Undershirt, Arkansas.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like this disaster recovery that they had.
That's that too.
Yeah. Where they were running 2 or 3 channels out of their neighboring sister station.
Well, now this also implies that you could spin something up and back down quickly. So if you're going to do Sweet 16 basketball or just some seasonal thing,
sports, news, shots, MOS stuff, Christmas, holidays,
that you can spin things up. I know that there's a huge satellite radio client of ours, and several times a year they spin up a number of channels, and they use. I'm not sure they're using cloud-based yet, but they are using virtualized equipment. So there's nothing to install in racks.
Right, exactly, and that's the big benefit too, is power, cooling, the energy. If you're very energy conscious, way.
We did a calculation one time, and I think we were virtual before virtual was cool. In Greenville, Mississippi, we ran a number of stations on a decent used server. We did a calculation on the electricity dollars. Not that that's a huge portion of what you spend to run your automation and audio processing, but I think we calculated down to $1.40 a month for electricity for each station.
Wow.
Something like, I mean, it was just not much.
That's incredible.
That never sounded right to me, but that's what our consultant said. So.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Interesting.
Greg, it's been wonderful talking to you.
Kurt, thank you.
Now, most of my audience here is radio guys, but how can you help if people want to reach you for television, for intercom, or for radio for intercom? I guess you could talk to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Radio or television. My focus is more on the television side, but Happy to help out everybody.
You haven't been with the company all that long, Greg,
About
but
4 months.
you know, the first Infinity intercom system in the United States was at a radio station.
Yeah.
WGN, Chicago.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a cool story.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Greg.
Thanks, Kirk.
Appreciate it very much. All right. Hey, it's This Week in Radio Tech. I'm Kirk Harnack. We're going to take a quick break right now. We're live from the Texas Association of Broadcasters, which is always a big convention. There's a huge expo hall off to my left. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. My left. And we're going to go tour that tomorrow. It opens up for tomorrow. And then there's engineering sessions going on today, engineering and sales sessions going on tomorrow. We'll be right back after this word from our good friends at Broadcast Bionics.
Welcome to the Bionic Studio. The Bionic Studio brings all audience interaction to the fingertips of a production team in radio, TV, and podcast. Our workflow-led system is working 24/7 around the world for small broadcasters and national and international networks. Our telephony module, Bionic Talk Show, allows cost-effective centralization, remote operation, scalability, and resilience across an entire network of stations, but at the same time is used in single-studio self-op environments. Social media curation and activity is now considered a broadcast-critical part of programming. Bionic Social means the studio isn't overwhelmed with a wall of interaction from an ever-growing number of social platforms. We combine SMS, MMS, and email together with a speech-to-text service for listeners using smart speakers. We enable studio teams to curate, filter, and display all platforms in one place, and post text, images, and video content to multiple platforms in one operation. Effortless collection of video content with Bionic Director has helped position some of the world's most successful stations as leaders in viral content, generating appointments to listen and free marketing via retweets and shares. Bionic Contest enables end-to-end tracking of on-air competitions, live reads, and prizes. These could be on-air contests, automated SMS entry, or online. Anywhere, and Skype TX for Radio brings high-quality audio and video contribution into the studio with ease. No need for dedicated PCs to run different applications. Everything is controlled within the Bionic Studio UI, and incoming connections are visible to users along with all other platforms. Our codec integration enables connection, algorithm configuration, and directory to a wide range of IP and ISDN codecs. The Bionic Studio, a unique suite of products designed to enable your talent to work smarter.
Check it out from bionics.co.uk. Hi there, I'm Kirk Harnack. I'm so glad that you've joined us. We're at the Texas Association of Broadcasters. The convention this year is in Round Rock. Yeah, this is Texas.
Oh, Lord.
Where'd you think you were?
I wasn't sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, our tour guide for the hour,
Yes.
Chris Roth. Hi, Chris.
Over there, good. Over there is Alaska. I don't know. How are you doing, sir?
Great.
Good.
You never fail to make me giggle.
I fail sometimes.
No, you don't.
No.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
So, Chris Roth, you are with this Max Connect outfit.
Connect Triple Helix, that's us. Yes.
So about an hour and a half ago, I texted to Josh Bone. You all know Josh Bone.
Right. We all know.
And I said, Josh, are you here at the show? He said, no, you'll have to talk to Chris.
No, yeah, good try. Good luck. Josh doesn't leave the house.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, there are several innovations, and not everybody, well, actually, probably everybody who watches this show has heard about Max Connect Wireless, the 4G LTE. I've got one with me. Luckily, the Wi-Fi here is absolutely amazing, so I didn't have to pull that out. But if it wasn't amazing, I'd be pulling out my Max Connect.
Absolutely.
4G modem.
Got one sitting over there on the floor for us to use, and it does everything. It just cuts through. That's what it's supposed to do. It cuts through. Prioritized wireless.
How did y'all pay the wireless companies under the table? How's that happen?
Some wizardry that, Josh has done over the years.
Okay.
But yeah, we have these exclusive agreements, prioritized wireless and all the major carriers, and it just works. When people say, how does it work? Do you care? It works.
I have used, and we're going to talk about a different thing here in a second that I'm really excited about, but the Max Connect wireless service, I've used it three times to get my butt out of a bind. And one time was we built a new station in Oxford, Mississippi, supposed to have amazing gigabit Ethernet, gigabit fiber, coming into the site. And of course, they were 3 weeks late in putting it in. They promised and promised and promised. And yeah, if finally it's gotten in, we love it. It's great. But for the first 3 weeks, our only connection to the transmitter site, which by the way, this is the site where our automation, our streaming, our transmitters are there, of course, process, everything is there, and we remote control it.
Right.
So we had to have fixed IP address. Our phones all went through it as well. So to have everything go through that was just amazing. And it was all Max Connect wireless.
It works great. I was at Navy Marine Corps Stadium. It was a couple of years ago. And that's Annapolis, Maryland, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah.
President Biden was there. He was doing a speech commissioning day.
Okay.
There's 40,000 people there. Everybody's sitting there on their phone, and they're trying to upload to Facebook, and they're trying to go to Instagram and whatever this TikTok thing is, all that sort of stuff. But I could get through because I had my Max Connect box. Everybody else's wheels are just spinning. I did a 6-hour flawless broadcast. Not an issue. So these things just work.
Yes. And
they just work
continuously. Fixed IP address, and that's very beneficial.
Fixed IP address is very beneficial for when you're trying to get back to your studio.
Right.
Or if you've got our unit at a transmitter site and you're trying to do your data or whatever you have to get back into it, it's always going to be there, the same fixed IP address. And that comes standard with every Max Connect.
So the other thing I wanted to ask you about is this multi-tuner, and I've read about it, but I haven't played with yours yet. A lot of folks who watch the show know that just under a year ago, I'm part of a company. We bought 8 radio stations, 6 FM, 2 AM on the island of Maui in Hawaii. We moved them, and we seriously simplified the whole operation wonderfully. And part of that was my business partner bought, because you didn't have this available yet, bought a rack full of like Rolls tuners.
I heard.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, they work fine, but they take up, oh my gosh, 8 rack units.
Right.
And it's kind of a mess. So what is this multi-tuner that you guys have?
Well, it's a multi-tuner, and what it does is it allows you to monitor whatever you need to within your market. Let's say you've got an AM and FM and HD. You want to monitor the FM HD2, HD3. We can put several different tuner cards in. It can monitor your competition. It can do an IceCast stream, so you can go and listen to what you're doing, what your competition is doing. You've got the full gamut, whatever you want to do, and it comes 4 cards in each. So you get 4 cards 4 tuners at a time in each card.
Okay.
In this thing, so it's great. It's so AM, FM, HD, HD2, HD3, HD4, whatever you want to monitor.
I see. It'll do NOAA weather radio too.
It'll do NOAA weather radio as well. Yeah, if that's what you want to do, it certainly will.
Wow. So you could, if it's in the right place, you could use it as your EAS receiver as well as monitoring your own station.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The options are limitless with this thing.
Yeah. That is, and is it 1 rack unit? Did I see that?
1 rack unit. That's it.
In 1 rack unit, I got 16 tuners.
That's correct.
Oh my gosh.
And a beautiful web interface too.
Okay.
So if you go to our website, maxconnect.com, go to the tuner page, you can see all about it. You can actually get in and play with a tuner from that website.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if, since you've got it on the website,
Okay.
we're going to do a Max Connect ad later in the show.
Okay.
But I'm going to give our producer, Suncast, a heads up. Suncast, if you could go ahead and research and find that page for this multi-tuner at the maxconnect.com website, we will talk about it. And you don't have to be here, but if you want to just come back maybe in a few minutes.
Maybe I'll peek. I'll peek behind your head, Nisko.
and you can tell us about it again.
Absolutely.
All right. Chris Roth, thank you so
Good
much.
to see you, Kirk.
Good to see you. Hey, we've got another guest coming up here. Come on, dude. How are you?
Hey, hi.
This is Hans von Zutphen.
Yes. Hello.
It's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a long time. Yeah. You know, let's stand closer to the camera here. So yeah, you can go ahead and stand up here with me. There we go. And
we're too high.
You're tall. That's right. You're one of these tall Dutch guys, right?
Your camera is not aligned properly.
Well, here, how about we do
Yeah,
that?
better.
That's maybe too much.
It's a bit of delay. Yeah.
So, one time a few years ago, you and I had a really good technical discussion about how micro MPX works.
Mm.
And I know this is the old history for you, right? But you're still working on it, right? You're making it better.
Yes.
Would you, and I've mentioned it on the show a few times, but would you help our audience understand? And it's a group of engineers.
Mm.
Can't give away secrets. I get that.
Mm.
how does micro MPX, how does it freaking work?
I don't remember what I told you last time. I shouldn't say anything more than I did back then.
No, you shouldn't. Well, so micro MPX takes a stereo multiplex output, right, from a stereo generator.
Yeah. With pilot RDS, the whole signal, basically. Yes.
Yeah, not HD radio, but up to the RDS.
Yes.
Right.
And RDS2 now as well.
And RDS
since recently.
And you capture that, and you are able to because that would normally be what, 6, 8, 10 megabits per second worth of sampling.
It could theoretically be 2 if you do if you would do 16-bit and 128 kilohertz audio, then it would be 2 megabits. But that's the absolute minimum.
Okay.
Normally.
Okay. So, because I was thinking of sampling at 192.
Yeah, then it would already be 3.
3 megabits. Okay. Yeah. But you get it down to as little as what, 400 kilobits?
Yeah, with micro MPX Plus, it can even go down to 176. So it can go really down. That's my version is basically intended for if you have to send it over connections which are expensive. So let's say a satellite, maybe 4G, 5G. If you have to pay for the bandwidth, then you can go down to 176. Typically, I would recommend to just use normal micro MPX, and that goes to 320.
So the number one thing that I run into when I tell people about micro MPX is they tell me, oh, I don't want to hear a codec at that low bit rate. Tell me why they're wrong.
You don't want to hear a codec at that low bit rate. That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, not a traditional codec. This codec was made specifically for FM, and it makes use of all the strengths and weaknesses of an FM signal. So typically, if you were to use a normal codec, then what you get is you get all this pre-ringing, you get watery highs, you get all the annoying sounds that actually, and I have not said this before because I have not heard enough confirmations of this, but I've heard more confirmations of this actually 2 weeks ago. Apparently, there is this thing where low bitrate audio, where frequencies have been removed, is fatiguing to listen to, even if you don't really notice it. But your brain is apparently constantly working on filling in the gaps in the audio, and people actually get tired of it. Which is the thing, for example, if you listen to that while you're driving in your car. So that might actually be, this would be interesting to have some research in. But so our codec does something completely different. If it does anything, and usually it does do very little, but if it has to change the audio, it will add white noise, which sounds exactly like FM reception noise, but it's at such low levels that it's just inaudible.
But normally your codec's not doing that at reasonable bit rates, right?
No.
Yeah.
Well, it's always adding something, but I mean, at the highest bit rates, it's at below minus 100 dB or so. So yeah, who cares?
So and I want to talk about filtering on the decoding end in just a minute. Years ago, here, let's move back up to the camera here. We're getting small.
Yeah.
So years ago, I was tasked with moving an FM radio station in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and it was a long shot, 950 megahertz shot to the transmitter site, long shot. And we had a problem getting the dishes properly aligned. So we were on the air for a few days with a pretty weak signal at the transmitter site. And of course, I was hearing all this noise in the background of the station. And of course, I was a very young engineer at the time, and it took me a couple days to realize, wait a minute, this noise is not a problem me receiving the FM station. This is noise that the FM station is transmitting because the STL is delivering that noise into the exciter at the transmitter site. And it finally dawned on me, whatever audio problems you have being delivered to the transmitter, you're going to transmit. You know, the transmitter doesn't recreate this audio and make it clean again. No.
And I'll make this worse, because if you have this noise which is all over the band, most modern receivers will use how clean the signal is around the pilot, for example, to figure out how good the reception is and to decide whether to blend to mono. So we know that we have multiple customers who switched over to our processing, and then with or without micro MPX, that doesn't make any difference, but at least a signal that has a very clean pilot and a very clean left minus right quadrature signal, which is also important, and the stuff above 60 kilohertz where the signal ends. And some have actually reported that their stereo reception range got up to 50 kilometers, so 30 miles bigger.
I can believe that.
So much further from the transmitter where they could be received in stereo. And that's insane.
So what I alluded to earlier is that in your micro MPX decoder, not even talking about using your processing, and of course, I work for the other guys, but we do use your decoding, and you have some filtering in there that makes the baseband unbelievably clean. And I've seen this on Spectrum outputs, and we have a friend, Mike Modney, up in Canada, that is using micro MPX, and he reports really clean baseband signal coming from your decoder. Is this because of excellent filtering? Is that what happens?
Yeah, so we assume that the input signal is a compliant MPX signal.
Yeah.
Which means that there should not be any noise around the pilot. If there is any, we will remove it, which will actually improve your reception indeed in that case. Normally this shouldn't happen because most processors will not make much more noise there, but if it's there, yeah, we basically cannot transmit it. That's actually the thing, but that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the big advantage of you have to treat different parts of the spectrum differently to get the optimal output and the optimal end result for your transmitter.
All right, now let me see if you can describe this, or if you're bound to secrecy. RDS in the US, RBDS. How do you code this signal and send it? That seems like you're doing that at a magically low bit rate.
Yeah, and I think that people can figure out how you would do that if they think a bit about it.
Okay. That's your
so
answer.
I mean we currently can even do RDS2, which has 3 extra RDS carriers, and we can still do that at 176 kilobits. So that will tell people something to have something to think about now.
Now I'm normally using micro MPX at whatever the highest bit rate, like 500 and something kilobits.
800 is the highest.
Oh, okay. Well, on mine,
on version 4. Yeah, on version 4 it's 800.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we've talked about micro MPX. Beat that to death. It's fantastic technology. I love it. It has solved so many problems for me as a broadcaster. We're using it in American Samoa. We're shipping 4 or more FM signals together over an IP radio link, and I'm sure you've got customers doing more than that. But it really makes for a nice package, easily transmittable over IP radio.
Yep, that was the plan. So yep,
or over public internet if you need to do that too.
We have customers who feed more than 100 transmitters over public internet at the same time, and that works well apparently. So
I understand there is maybe more than one, but there's a transmitter company. Maybe they make Aqua transmitters that have this built in.
Yeah, there are currently 5 transmitter companies that have it built in.
Oh wow! So they have a micro MPX decoder, so you just plug Ethernet in there. And
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Any plans for a rendezvous server or some method of NAT traversal?
Oh, you mean?
Because right now you have to open a port all the way.
So we do have RIST support in the very latest version that's released.
What's it called?
RIST, and RIST is a protocol that comes from the video industry.
Reliable, secure transport, right?
It's something like that. I don't really know what it stands for, to be honest. But what it does is it allows you to create a connection which is using UDP, but it's kind of TCP-like.
Yes.
But for very low latency recovery, and it knows which packets have been lost. So let's say you send package 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it sees package 6, then it knows it will have to request package 5 again.
Yep.
And so it's very low overhead.
Right.
But it can request and very low latency because it can immediately request the package if it sees, oh, I didn't get that one. So we have that included now. It is kind of in beta mode, so it's there, so people can use it. We have some customers who are using it and who are actually really happy with it. Because, well, for example, we had someone who had an IP address that changed every day. So it went off the air every day, or not every day. So he had something that sometimes worked and sometimes didn't.
Yeah.
He had made something himself, but now he's using this and it just stays on the air. So
wow,
that helps.
Hans, it's delightful following you on Facebook. If you want to follow Hans on Facebook, you just look him up. Only Hans von Zutphen on Facebook, I think.
No, there are more.
What? No way.
I'll tell you. I had an accountant, and one of the people working for him was called Hans van Zutphen.
Oh my God. I thought this was a very unusual name, but I'm an
No, it's
American
not.
guy. What do
It's
I
not.
know?
It's not, apparently.
My goodness. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hans van Zutphen, he makes the Stereo Tool audio processor, and he's come up with a number of great ideas, one of them being Micro MPX. Hey, it is time for us to take a quick break here. I'm sorry, let me, I'm just doing too much here all at once. Give me a sec. We're going to talk to we got Angry Audio and our friends from Max Connect. If we can find did Chris run off? I think Chris ran off. What's that? If you see Chris, yeah. Chris Roth. If you see him, that's great. If not, that's okay. Tell you what, let's do. Let's talk about our sponsor, Angry Audio. And we're going to talk about the Rave audio console. I know I talk about this a lot, but it's worth talking about. You know, there's a lot of places, and I work for a company that makes amazing audio over IP consoles. That's all they make is network connected consoles. The Rave console is different. It's not exactly a throwback to the past. What it is, it's a modern take on the analog audio console. The things about it that are modern, well, in just a moment on the screen, we'll see the rear panel. The connectors are all Studio Hub. And that means click, click, it just goes together so quickly and easily. It does have XLR connectors for the microphones. Come on in, Jim. It does have XLR connectors for the microphones. And it's got a wonderful power supply, very low noise mic preamps. It's got two different mix minus buses, one for your telephone hybrid and one for your codec. It uses aircraft quality switches, long throw faders. It even uses long throw faders for the monitor volume, your speaker volume, and for your headphone volume. And that's very cool the way they've designed that in there. And I want to tell you one more thing about the Rave console. This sucker is heavy. It is heavy duty built, and it's physically heavy. It ain't sliding around on your console like like a little mixer from Temu. This is a real audio console designed by Mike Dosh, who now has his own company, Angry Audio. Of course, it's got external monitoring. It's got a talk back to the studio. There are all kinds of pictures of this on Facebook. If you'll go follow Angry Audio on Facebook, you'll see a lot of satisfied customers of the Rave audio console. Check it out from Angry Audio and their whole line of stuff, things that you need to build studios with, angryaudio.com. And also, our show is brought to you by Max Connect. And I was hoping that Chris Roth would, tell you what, we'll put off the Max Connect ad for a little bit later. Maybe Chris will be back. Look who's joining me right now.
Chris bailed, huh? Chris bailed on you?
Maybe we got back to him quicker than I thought we would.
A little too much time. A little too many guests you got lined up to come see you.
Usually that's not my problem. Or is it my problem? Anyway, hi, Jim.
Hi, Kirk. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well. I'm deep in the heart of Texas.
Yes, you are. What's been on broadcasters' minds lately? What are people asking you about?
I think a lot of container talk lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm starting to get more virtual questions and things that people want to do. Sorry for stepping on your toe. People want to do more in less space.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking to downsize their footprint in real estate and bodies and everything else. So.
And I take it that even though we talk about cloud a fair amount, that doesn't necessarily mean people want to go to the cloud, yet some people are.
Well, cloud is a generic term.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
Cloud mean?
Yeah. It's somebody else's computer.
Exactly.
Right? Doesn't necessarily mean the Amazon instance in the cloud. It could be.
It could be.
But it also could be your computer right there, and I'm trying to access it. So,
Right.
You know, but the idea is less footprint. There's smaller space, more a better focus on dollars spent and your overhead, and that's what I'm seeing from a lot of broadcasters.
You know, I know I've talked about it a few times, but on the island of Maui, we moved 8 radio stations, and we put them in a space where the infrastructure is all in 4 equipment racks, and frankly, it could have been done in 3, maybe 2.5.
I think Clay Walker and his boss love to hear that story.
Yes,
because that's the big push that they're doing. They're trying to downsize.
And not that small is what you need, but this implies fewer pieces of gear, and the connections are network connections, which means they're really meaningful. Every connection is carrying a good bit of information. You don't have separate connections for serial and for metadata and for audio and for left and for right. And for a lot of this stuff happens over one cable.
That Steve Church was onto something, wasn't he? Basically bonding it all together. And that's the term he always used and explained to me was we're bonding the audio and the data together.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Livewire is all about.
Well, and that's what Ethernet does, and we do it every day. I mean, on here we are doing a TV show, basically, right?
Yep.
With a built-in camera, and we're using wireless technology to send 5 or 6 megabits per second off to Detroit, where Suncast is putting the graphics on the show.
It reminds me of that bit that I think it was a comic, Louis C.K.
Yeah.
He did this bit about, he's on the airplane and they're flying from LA to New York, and some guy next to him is all upset in first class because the internet's not working.
Oh.
And he's like, dude, it wasn't that long ago. You take pictures. We're in a seat 32,000 feet in the air, hurtling through space.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that long ago that you had a phone that you had to dial, and it made a spark to make that connection. And I'm like, it was such a great piece, and it really put things into perspective where you're like, wow, put up with a little bit. Think about what we're doing here. And like you said, no wires. It's all wireless. We're doing a TV show here from your computer.
Yeah.
Blows your mind.
Which implies it's not that big a deal to control a radio station from wherever I want to do either recorded voice tracks or live insertions.
Sure.
Be live on the radio.
They've been doing FTP voice tracking for years, right? Well, now you don't have to. You can just do it live.
Well, and you can do it live, and now we have web interfaces that let you record it. And even one of our sponsors is Air, a couple of guys from their support department right here, where when you record voice tracks with WebVT from Playout One, yes, you're sending the audio live, but actually you're also recording a local file, and then that gets sent in the background, so that even if you lose a few packets, you don't lose them on your voice track.
It all comes back and be put together. That's pretty amazing. That's very cool.
And that's what engineers and developers these days do. They figure, okay, what's the weak link here about doing this over IP? Okay, well, not everybody's internet connection is perfect. So let's do something about packet loss mitigation, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that customers ask a lot about is error correction, forward error correction and whatnot. So, it's very important.
Now, in Hawaii, I built a couple studios with our traditional Radius consoles, but I used the new Studio Core box.
I have one here with me.
Well, tell me about the Studio Core, because I got like serial numbers, 4 and 5, early on, and I'm on the phone. Hey, I didn't see this in the Quick Start Guide. How do I do this?
Yeah, that was, it took me a second, but once I got in and realized that there's 2 IP addresses in that box, and one is for your console and one is for your mix node or your IO.
Yeah.
It was easy peasy after that, and I really love it. I've got one here. I'm going to show it in the BSW booth with a monitor and a touch screen and all that. So a standalone box. It's a console all in one. I joke, I kid, add water makes its own sauce, right? It's all, and then you've got the thumb drive. As a guy who demos this stuff all the time, I'm schlepping gear in and out. You're no stranger to this. Schlepping gear in and out, and it gets to be tedious. Now I've got a thumb drive. I pop it in there, and there's my audio. I don't have to have another PC tied to it. I can just play it right out. I don't know. It's a great box. I love the Studio Core.
Our designer, Luca La Rosa in Roma. When Luca went through in our internal meeting, and this had to be 1.5 years ago, all the things that Studio Core would do, I'm thinking, dude, this is amazing, because I know stations that to this day record audio onto thumb drives.
Yeah. And this USB-C directly into.
Oh, yes.
And I've got beautiful audio coming from my phone, which before was always, I had to go mini pin and a little adapt, maybe a match jack.
Right.
This,
no problem. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
So,
wow. Jim, it's great to talk to you, man.
Thank you, Kirk.
Have a good show.
All right. You too.
All right. Take care. Hey, our show this week in Radio Tech. Hey, well, let's talk about Max Connect now, because we're going to talk about this new product that they've had for a short time, and I want to get one. I really do. I wish I had one at our Hawaii stations. It's the multi-tuner, the RMT 416. Now, this is a 1-rack unit, rack mount chassis that can house 16 individual tuners. Now, it does that using 4 individual tuner cards, and you can see them on this picture on the back. There's AM and FM antenna inputs. There's a gigabit Ethernet for streaming and for monitoring. And I'm going to take Chris Roth's word for it that the web interface on this is amazing. It's really, really useful. Now, this is built around tuner cards that actually come from Audio Science. It's the Audio Science ASI 2816 hardware platform. And this has been a trusted solution in broadcast monitoring. These tuners support AM, FM, NOAA weather band, and optionally, they support HD radio for both FM and for AM. That's kind of cool. And it depends on the tuner card model. There's all different tuner models that you can get and put in there, whatever you need. The fully managed, you can fully manage it, I should say, via a single page web GUI. And this allows tuning, HD channel locking, and settings per tuner. So, hey, if there's HD channel locking, that means that even if your HD channel goes off, it won't hunt around for something else. It'll let you know, hey, this is off. Also, when your HD channel comes back on, well, you'll hear it again. Streams are embedded via a built-in IceCast compatible audio encoder for remote monitoring, and there's separate access for multiple users on different tuners simultaneously. Includes silence detection and carrier loss detection on each tuner, and you can have alerts sent via email, or you can manage them via SNMP. So it's really good for integration into operations centers. And of course, there's a balanced analog audio output for each tuner using the Studio Hub format with RJ45 connections. This thing is so cool. Oh, it also supports compliance logging, remote listening, HD subchannel monitoring, and audio feed streaming for audit requirements. Check this thing out, the MaxConnect RMT416. Leave it to Josh Bone and his group of engineers to take stuff that, existing technologies, and put them together in a way that's meaningful and actually helpful for us broadcast engineers. Hey, Paul, how are you, man? Did you just finish up with your presentation? Come on over here for a second, would you? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
How are you? This is Paul Schulens. He is the radio engineer to the stars, literally.
Absolutely.
Aren't you?
Keeping that hobby going.
Yeah, what a heck of a hobby.
Oh, man.
We're talking about stargazing in a professional way. Let's get closer to the camera here. Okay,
good,
there we go.
Good. My first tab meeting, so this is good.
Really?
Yeah.
What was your talking topic?
I was talking about drones, of course, and thermal imaging and all that kind of good stuff.
Anything you could summarize for us in a minute and a half here on the show?
Your transmission line is going to fail at some point, unfortunately, so catch it before it does.
Yeah.
And thermal imaging is a good way to do that.
And were you describing in your talk, do you describe to other people how to do this, or that they should hire you to do it?
Both.
Okay.
Both, yeah. Okay. If they want to do it, I gave them all the resources. They can buy the equipment, get the courses, get the training and all that kind of stuff. But, of course, I've got the stuff already, willing to travel. So if they need the services, we're there for them. But I went more into the theory of how it works.
Oh, and,
when it was thermal imaging was discovered and infrared and all that kind of stuff.
As a practical matter, and I've had a drone myself for quite a few years now. I got one of the the first DJI Mavic Pro. And I keep hearing that DJIs are not available now and not going to be for a while, probably. What hardware drone wise are you recommending for people these days?
I got asked that question and I didn't have an answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I bought my stuff like 4 years ago.
Sure.
So I would refer anybody that's asking that question to some of the vendors like Florida Drone Supply and the big guys that sell this stuff all the time. I don't know what the answer is. Yeah. I'm not too worried about it myself. The stuff is still serviceable and it's all pretty reliable.
I've wrecked and fixed mine many times.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well,
but good question.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Catch up later.
That's Paul Schulens. He's been a guest here on TWiRT several times, and he was a featured speaker here at the TAB show. We got a couple guys from air.com here. I know these guys well because, they are support. And once in a while, you need support, especially with all the new features that you guys come out with. We have David Smedley. Hi, David.
Hello. Hi.
You're here all the way across the pond, right?
Pretty long flight, yeah. We made it.
Good deal. And Chase Daniels. Hi, Chase.
Hey, Kirk. Good to see you.
I know, I'm a thorn in your side sometimes.
Oh, never. No, but I had much shorter flight from New York. So.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good deal. Hey, tell you what, we're going to take a final break and then come back and chat with you guys. You mind hanging around for just a minute?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I'm going to talk about our friends from Broadcasters General Store and a product called the Broadcast Tools WebVRC Web and Voice Dial-Up Remote Control. I even missed a part. With all that syllables, I still missed a part. The WVRC 8 Plus. Now, this is a remote control that gives you benefits of the two different ways that we'd like to be able to access remote transmitter sites. You know, a lot of transmitter sites have gone to web interfacing, SNMP or other types of remote controls that let you access it by web. But you know what? If you're driving down the road 80 miles an hour, or here in Texas at 90 miles an hour, and you need to access the remote control, you probably oughtn't do that on your phone dashboard, you know, while you're driving. But you can make a phone call. You can make a phone call, a voice phone call, and the WVRC 8 Plus gives you both options. You can control your transmitter site, give contact closures up and down, latched, temporary contact closures. You can do that all with touch tones and voice, just like we did in the late 1980s and 1990s. Remember the Sign Systems remote control? Well, you know, this operates very similarly to that, where you can call it up with voice, but you can also use the web interface. So it gives you the best of both worlds. And as an engineer who many times I'm called upon to, hey, see what's going on with this station or that station, or can you turn on our N+1 transmitter and give it a certain frequency? Well, there's a lot you can do with the touch tones and voice remote, just as well as you can do, you know, with the web interface. Broadcast Tools, you know, that's Don Wingett, and his company really specializes in RF hardened, reliable equipment that goes in both transmitter sites and studios. And this one is for the transmitter site. Love this thing, this beautiful remote control. It's only one rack unit tall. It also has status inputs and remote monitoring inputs, so you can monitor voltages and samples, check your forward power, your reflected power, and so forth. So you can get it from Broadcasters General Store, and that's on the web at bgs.cc. bgs.cc for Broadcasters General Store. Let's see if I have the phone number memorized. Okay, I'm not looking at the screen. David and Chase will confirm that. 352-622-7700. Let me look at the screen. Did I get it? Oh, it's off the screen now. I think I got it right. All right. Call them at Broadcasters General Store. They have sharp pencils, and they will make you the best deal possible and get you the quickest delivery on your broadcast tools equipment, whether it's the WVRC 8 Plus or something else. They'll have it at Broadcasters General Store. Love these guys. They've been my go-to for years and years and years. Thanks for sponsoring the show. All right, here we are with the guys from air.com. And you guys are in support. So what do you know about new products?
A lot.
Oh, really?
A lot of new stuff coming. A lot of.
It's never ending, really. And that's a wonderful thing, actually, because it gives us the chance to always have something new to kind of play with and see what's out there. And it just, you know, never ends.
So thinking about, you know, all 21 of my stations have Playout One, but, you know, we know what we know about it. And when I hear Ricky Lee talk about features that are in there that I didn't even know about, what are a feature or two that I may not know about, but the broadcasters who are using it are having a good time with it? It's really helping them out. What do you think are some really high points?
Well, you know, one of the big things we just introduced with 5.2 releasing is the ability to use WebVT on your phone or tablet, which is a huge change. And the live mic opportunity that comes along with that as well is something that people are just starting to realize as they get, you know, going with 5.2 and being able to track pretty much from anywhere you are. As you mentioned, just about like rolling down the road tracking. Yeah. That might not be the ideal thing, but it does give you the ability to do that wherever you have a connection.
You know, a little while ago, we were talking about voice tracking versus going live. And I've set up and helped our jocks do voice tracking, but I haven't helped anybody go live. What is the operational flow that's different about going live with Playout One versus WebVT and voice tracking?
So everything comes together in one simple place, but the live mic ability is what we have built into WebVT. So you can, you know, not have to lug around all the equipment that we've kind of gotten used to having all over the years of having to go out and do a live broadcast.
Right.
You just, you know, get connected to the station through our live mic.
Through a phone?
Through a phone, if you have it, or a tablet or a laptop, you know, and any of those options, and then be able to route right back to the station.
Now, does WebVT, is that using web RTC or something like that to traverse firewalls?
So everything works back to what's set up with the station hardware. So it's all once you become online with Playout One and start using the software, everything routes back to that hardware that you have yourself. So it kind of becomes that managing aspect of what you have right there. So your direct connection is right to your server.
So that's right. At my stations, we do have a secure port that goes to our file server, I guess, where we do the voice tracking. But we do get two-way audio even behind university firewalls. If you're the voice tracker, if you're the person who's calling it up, right?
Right. Yeah, and you can get some people have some limitations depending on the network they're on, possibly that might hold them back. But it really is pretty much adaptable anywhere that you are.
Gotcha. Wow. Any other features or two that you can think of? I know we've been advertising Scheduler.
Oh yeah, we're very excited about Scheduler, and it's a web-based scheduler. So again, that just like we talked with Live Mic and the ability for where you have a connection to do your logs, you don't have to download any software. You just have it there at your fingertips. We had somebody who was actually mentioning how they were doing logs while they were up in the air, on an airplane.
Oh, geez.
There's a crazy concept. I could never have imagined back in the day and all the time I spent scheduling music, doing it from an airplane. But here we are, and we have that ability with the new scheduler.
Wow. Yes, it's like it's almost like ordering something off Amazon. We're so used to it now. Like, oh yeah, I need some arthritis cream. Let me order that while I'm flying, 35,000 feet. David, you're over in England. You're head of support there. Is that right? Or more or less.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, let me ask you a similar question. What are you seeing these days that Playout One customers are enthused about and using? That may be newer, maybe something that you couldn't do a few years ago.
I think something which I think a lot of people may not realize is the fact is that obviously Playout One for years and years has had the feature to do mix down, so you can mix down a block of audio and put it into a file. But with recent updates, the fact is that you can do that automatically. So if you've got a show that you want to replay, a few days down the line and things like that, you can automate that process. So there's no need to go in there. You can literally just have it happen, on the trigger, really.
Am I dreaming, or do you guys have a function that will play the hook from several songs to promote what's coming up?
Yep, we can do that inside of Playout One.
I've heard that on my own station. I thought, how did we do that? Is that Playout One?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So you define what the hook would be in a song, and then you tell it, hey, I want a promo coming up for the next half hour?
Yeah, you can set it in there. You can set what your start is going to be. You can build it almost like building blocks.
Yeah.
So then you can have all the different elements between the items and the start and the end. So it sounds like one single produced piece of production.
Right. It sounds produced.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all dynamically working on the fly.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's amazing. David and Chase, thank you so much for coming by.
Absolutely.
Good to see you guys. I appreciate you. And we'll see you here around at the show soon.
Yeah, we'll be in booth 404. Come over, say hello.
Okay, and that's right in there, right?
Right in there.
And not open now, open tomorrow. Right?
Open tomorrow. You got it.
All right.
Good all day.
Good deal. We got Clay Walker coming back in to make a real quick exit speech.
Oh God. But here's the thing. It's like at the end of the Tonight Show when they're like, oh yeah, and we had these people on the roster, and then you get bumped for time.
Oh yes.
That's how I feel like today, Kirk.
Well, you weren't bumped.
I mean, we had a minute, and you said we'll come right back, and now you say we got to wrap up. It's already past an hour.
Oh yeah. Oh well, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We're going to leave one more for our session tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then maybe you'll be kind enough to invite me. You've had everybody else in the broadcast industry, but not me. Kirk, come on, man.
Tomorrow's presentation.
Yeah.
That you and I are jointly doing about. Well, the title is what? Cloud-based something or other?
Yeah, cloud-based consoles and audio processing and broadcast operations in the cloud.
But we're not limiting it to cloud. It's virtual stuff.
Virtual stuff too, right? Yeah. Because you could have an on-prem container server or virtual machines doing a lot of the physical things like you're doing in your stations, and we are doing in some of ours. We don't have a physical console, but you've got something you could log into, and you're taking up one rack space. Pretty sick.
During our presentation, we're going to have a short little video. It features Scott Shannon, it features Andrew Jeffries, and it features Dan McQuillan. And we got video from a number of different British broadcasters who have decided that what's important to them to make good content is to not worry about the equipment.
That's about right. We always say frictionless content creation studio. Yes. Yeah. This is the third Amazon mention we're going to make in this show. As we said it at the top, I just heard you say it with the guys from Air. But the same thing, like as a content creator, this all needs to be invisible. Like Push button, get spots is what we would, our friends at 1010 Wins would say. We don't want to know about anything else. We want a push button. We want to get a spot. That's it.
Yeah.
And we're going to focus on presenting and doing the news.
Yeah.
We're going to present doing a morning show. That's how we approach what we're doing here too. And now we're talking about doing it with virtualization, making it easy on the talent to create.
Good deal. I'm going to end up if you can't be here at the TAB, and most of you watching are not, some of you watching are, but I'm going to take a good portion of this presentation we're doing tomorrow and take it to some SBE Ennis workshops.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. What a great opportunity that you educate all the up and coming engineers and stuff through the Ennis workshops.
Yeah.
Very good stuff. And yeah, it'd be great to be able to provide that too.
Good deal. Well, I look forward to maybe grabbing a bite to eat with you later. And you played golf today, didn't you?
I did play golf terribly.
Not many engineers play golf.
There was a few, and there were some
Really?
tower guys. Yeah, vertical bridge guys were there. There were some dielectric guys there. Yeah, they did pretty well. They've got the time to go do those things because they're trying to sell antennas and transmitters. The rest of us are trying to put content through those antennas and transmitters. So, but yeah, a nice day here in Austin, Texas.
Good deal.
Yeah, Kirk, thanks for having us on, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. And Fred, we got 30 seconds. Can you say hi? And we got to go. Fred Morton, ladies and gentlemen, is a legend in Texas broadcasting.
A legend in my own mind.
In your own mind. Fred Morton. What's your biggest fame to claim?
I got into radio when I was 15 years old, and I became an owner at age 29.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That was a goal.
Yeah.
And I fulfilled it.
You have the same station now?
I do.
What?
After 43 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Still there. KMGZ in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Wow.
Built it from a Class A. It's C3 now. And we are still local. We are a combination of live and voice track throughout the day. And then we're syndicated mornings and evenings.
Yeah.
But we are still there.
Yeah. Good deal. That is awesome. I'd love to hear some more wisdom from you, but we got to go.
Well, you are the guy with the wisdom. And what I want to say publicly, as I told you privately, the fact that you are doing these podcasts and video casts every single week, that is amazing. And the content is beyond description, and I mean that in a very, very good way. It is excellent, excellent. It takes a lot of work.
Well, it's all the guests. It's guests.
Well, but you're the ringmaster. You're the ringmaster.
Thank you. It's guests, and it's my producer who keeps me on schedule. And right now, my producer is saying, Kirk, wrap it up.
I'm going to step to the side.
Okay. Fred, good to see you, man.
Welcome to Texas.
Take care. All right, we got to go. Thanks so much to our sponsors. If you would, please patronize them. That would be wonderful. Let them know that you appreciate this show and you appreciate the things that they advertise and that we tell you about. Big thanks to Suncast, our producer. He took some time to work with us to do the show today, and I appreciate that very much. Remember, you can subscribe to the show on Facebook. We have a channel on Facebook, This Week in Radio Tech, and we're on YouTube as well, This Week in Radio Tech. And we publish live and the finished product there every week. Thanks a lot, folks. We'll see you next week on This Week in Radio Tech. Bye-bye.